Good, so welcome everybody. I am Karina de Tooy. I'm the program manager here at the African Doctoral Academy. And I would like to welcome everyone. We're a nice big group today. Thank you for taking the time to join us. So I see that we've got former ADA delegates and presenters even in the course with us. We've got some colleagues at Stellenbosch University. Can everybody hear me okay? Just, Amalsha, can you hear me? Marié, you can hear me? Excellent. So before I introduce Marié Roux, who's our presenter for today, I would like to introduce two colleagues of mine that are always here and answering your emails and queries. The first one is Ms. Amalsha. She's the ADA coordinator, and she'll be assisting us today with the waiting room and helping me with questions. And then Brian Mandigora, he's a PhD candidate at forestry at Stellenbosch University, and he's the ADA intern, and he'll be assisting me with the moderation. Good. So those of you that might need to leave early, or if your connections break, we will be recording this presentation and posting it on our YouTube channel, and we will share this via email with you. Marie's presentation, we will also send, when we send the link, we will also send the presentation. It contains a number of handy links and further resources that you can look at. Please post your questions in the chat. So we will be collating them as the webinar continues, and then we will do them at the Q&A session after 1 p.m. So please keep your cameras off, your mics muted, and chat in the chat, and we'll take note of it. So Marié is also kind enough to be doing a feature for us of the Tableau software, which is free. We won't have so much questions for hands-on, but if you would like her to repeat anything or show us anything again, we can keep that for the Q&A session at the end, or you can look at the YouTube channel that we have afterwards. So Marie's been a colleague of ours for many years, and I've always enjoyed interacting with her at the library. She's a librarian at the Stellenbosch University Library and Information Service. She's the current manager for Research Impact Services, and one of her tasks is to coordinate the Smart Researcher workshops, which is specifically aimed at postgraduate students, researchers, and academic staff at Stellenbosch University. Marié is also assisting researchers with research evaluations such as bibliometrics, unique author identifiers such as ORCID, or improving online research visibility and where to publish. So relevant for today, since 2002, she is involved in establishing and developing data analysis and visualization services at the library. Marié, thank you very much for offering to help us with this webinar. We really look forward to your presentation, and over to you.
Hey, thank you very much, Karina, for this lovely introduction. And I also just want to thank you for this opportunity to take part here today. Thank you so much. So I think we don't have so much time for everything I would like to say. So let's just jump in right at the presentation. Right, so I assume you can see my screen now. Thanks. Right, so we are looking today at just an introduction to data visualization and to talk a bit about with some principles that you need to take care of. So the content will look basically at this very quickly. You will receive the slides afterwards, as Karina has indicated, and also the video. So you can come back to it at any time when I go maybe a bit too quick with over certain sections. So why do we visualize data will be the first aspect that we look at. The importance of knowing your audience when you visualize data, finding the story, choosing specific visualization types, the effective use of color, and then also a bit something small about visualizing qualitative data and networks. And then I want to share top 10 do's and don'ts for charts and graphs. And then we will do a very quick demonstration about Tableau Public. Right, so just here at first, I would like to share the data visualization process. So you will be going through these steps when you look at visualization. The first will, of course, be to get your data, getting to know your data better, setting some goals of what you would like to do with your data, and then make the decision whether you're going to visualize some of your data or not. And then if you decide to visualize, what exactly? The first step before you going over to the visualizing process, you will need to clean your data, make sure there's no empty spaces, or working with rows and columns, making sure everything's clean and workable. And then the actual visualizing process. And after you have created your graph, you will also you will also need to look at further design aspects, like the coloring, with how it fits into your specific document, etc. And then also, of course, exporting, sharing, and embedding it wherever you would like to embed your visualization. So that's just a quick overview of the process that you would follow. So now first, the question, why visualize? So some of the primary reasons to visualize is to communicate a point, or to communicate a point, or finding the issues revealed in your analysis. And it's also to add credibility and tell your stories with numbers. You can also better understand the data that you have gathered by visualizing it. Data could also be more persuasive when it's shown in graphs or visualizations, and it could inspire others into action. Effective data visualization can also increase the impact of your research, and I think this is a very important aspect, and it can also assist you with your engagement efforts with other colleagues and networking with colleagues and others also interested in the same topic than you. All right, so you will see that some of the work that I look at here is done by Angela Zoss. She's the librarian at Duke University Library, and she's actually a data scientist, I think, not only a librarian, but I have asked her permission to use some of her work in our library guide and our presentation, so she has approved that. And according to her, there are two broad goals for visualizing your data. The first is the visualization for analysis, and this is to explore and analyze your data relationships, try many views and combinations to find the meaningful stories in your data. And the second aspect, the second broad goal, is to visualize for communication purposes. And here you will select a particular view of the data which you would like to share with others, and construct the visualization with a goal in mind, and taking your audience here also into account, for example, when a decision needs to be made. All right, so here's just a visualization about what a successful visualization could look at. So the first one here on the left-hand side is the information, your data that you gathered. Is it accurate, the consistency of it, the integrity? The second aspect is storytelling, your story. Is it interesting and relevant and meaningful? The third one, it will be the goal. Is it usable, fitting, efficient for what you would like to need it, you want to use it? And then lastly, the visual form, and this is about the structure, the appearance of it, and the harmony, the colors, the look and feel of your visualization. So all those four aspects could, when it fits in all together nicely, you will create a successful visualization. So you can read further about this and go into the finer detail. It's a bit small here, but you can look at that afterwards as well. Then just something very short about knowing your audience. Just a quote here from Jessica Dubow and Amanda Makulik. When you tell the right story to the right audience, and you are able to identify data points that the specific audience can relate to, and encourage them then to start a conversation. You can increase your story shareability and also give it a chance to go viral. That's just an interesting quote for me. So 2 questions could be asked about knowing your audience. Who is the data visualization intended for? And what does the audience know about this specific topic? And then after that, you can also consider the audience level of literacy. That's now the use of symbols and illustrations, animations, numerical literacy. And here, even educated audiences are not always comfortable with data and statistics. We all work in different environments. And so do they understand what a ratio is and complex formulas or statistics? So that's just an aspect to take into account to decide whether you need to simplify your data. The education and level of technical expertise of your audience is also important. And you may need to simplify your content if it's designed for less technical persons in your audience. And then also the job function, very important. What is the purpose of your data visualization? Academics will want to know how the data fits into existing literature, for example. And funders would like to see some results compared to the money spent, things like that. Just take that, the job function of your audience also into consideration. And then something about finding the story in your data. Data visualization as storytelling. Think of your data visualization message as a thesis statement, which might need a summary in a few concise sentences. So it's really the crux of what it is about. The ability to create a compelling visual argument will be greater if you begin with this clear and focused message. And this type of story you tell will also affect the platform you will use. Infographics, you all might know how popular infographics are these days. It might be more useful for persuading your audience of your point of view, because an infographic will include text and narrative as well, and not only the graphs and numbers. And if you use a dashboard that's more interactive, it will leave the interpretation to the audience. So that's also just something to take into account. I just want to give a few examples of data visualization of some of the historical interesting maps and graphs that has been created. John Snow's map of the 1854 cholera outbreak. It's very interesting to have a look at. It's in London, and it identified the point of origin of this outbreak. The next slide will show this map that he drew according to all the points where the cholera was detected. And they could see here, the focus were here in the middle here, and this water point was the problem, and I could immediately address that and influence the policymakers to improve the water sanitation in that specific area. So that is was a very interesting example for me from the history. And then also a graph by Florence Nightingale that her diagram of causes of death in the Crimean War. So here you will see that more soldiers died from preventable illnesses than from battle wounds. And in seeing this in this graph, they could allocate more resources and training for the healthcare workers. So very important. So this is the graph, the graphs that she came up with, and you'll see what I say it's gray, they say it's blue. These bigger areas here are those that look at those preventable illnesses. You can see how much more they were than the pink or red areas here that indicated the deaths from wounds. In case, just something interesting to share along the way. This is just an example of an infographic. Yes, I'm sure there are better examples as well, but this is basically how the narrative and your graphs and numbers will interact with each other in an infographic. Then something about choosing your visualization type. Here we can't go into much detail. We can talk very long just about this aspect. But this presentation of this slide could help you with deciding what type of chart or graph you should use. You can use the links at the top as well to zoom in more afterwards. It's maybe a bit small on your screen now. But here in the middle, you will decide, are you going to look at the comparison of data, a distribution, composition, or a relationship? And then according to those answers to these questions, you can follow the guide here. So for example, you would like to do a comparison over time, you go this way. If it's in many periods or few periods, so for example, I would like to look at a few periods with many categories, then you will use the line chart. If you would like to use single or few categories, you can use the column chart like this. So this is just a very nice way in how you can, if you only look at charts and graphs, this slide would assist you with making those decisions. But you can look at that further in your own time afterwards. This page is also a tool that I just want to share with you for assisting you with choosing your data visualization type. So I'm going to click through here so that I can go to the website to show you how this will work. I assume you can still see my website now. If I go over to website, Corinna, just to confirm.
Yes, okay, we can see it. And this link will be on the presentation, so delegates can look at it later. Yeah.
Yes. So here you can either view by search by function or search by list. But I think the function one is very helpful. So if you click on search by function, sorry, you will get ads along the way on this web page. You just close them. And then you will see all the different functions, either comparisons, relationships, distributions, data over time, analyzing text, things like that. So let's just look at, say, for example, relationships. And then it gives you all the different options, but also organized. Like this first part will be visualization methods that show relationships and connections between the data, or show correlations, and then those options for showing only connections, these options, for finding correlations, these options. So it gives you a very nice overview of what's available for this specific function. And then if you click on one, so I'm going to click on the bubble chart here below, it will give you more information, how it will look, a full description of how, what it is all about, why you would like to use this type of chart or visualization, and then also the tools that you can use to generate this visualization. This won't be complete, it's just what this, these people are putting up. So I don't ever see Tableau Public here, but I don't use that. So it's not a complete list of tools, but it may guide you in what you would like to use. All right, so I just wanted to show you that because this is quite helpful to use in your own time. Right, then we can go on. This is just an overview of visualization types that's also available through Angela Zoss's site. You will see here the source, the library guide of Duke University, and you can go there yourself afterwards as well and go through it. This is just a summary of it in the slides, but it also takes you to links to Wikipedia pages for each of these different types, visualization types. And if you click through to it, you will find all the information on that specific Wikipedia page. So first it looks at just one-dimensional visualization types. This is not really, it won't commonly be visualized because it's only a list of data items. Two-dimensional visualization types will include maps and other geospatial type of information. So here you will get the choropleth map, cartograms, dot distribution maps, etc. Sorry, I went a bit quick. Yeah, and a few others. The three-dimensional will be computer models, surface and volume rendering, computer simulations and things like that. The temporal visualization types are mostly those that we are more familiar with, maybe timeline and time series type of visualizations, the Gantt charts, arc diagrams, Sankey diagram, alluvial diagram, etc. So here you will see examples. This is the alluvial diagram, a steam graph here on the right-hand side, and a Gantt chart here in the middle. For just as examples. So then the last one here, I think, is the multi-dimensional types of visualizations. Here, this is also quite familiar for us, I think. The normal pie chart and bar charts will be included here, a radial bar chart, tree map, heat map, and this is example here on the right-hand side of a bubble chart. Yeah, so, but this is something that you can use in your own time. We can't go through them all now one by one. Yeah, and then yeah, there's another slide on this, the tree and hierarchical types of visualization methods. And also the network visualization types. Here, mostly the node link diagram will be the most important one, and also the alluvial diagram maybe. Okay, let's just continue. I want to say something about the effective use of color, because this could be quite important in your design phase of your visualization. So these are quite a few slides, so I'm going to hop very quickly over them, and you can also look at the more detail afterwards. But the most important thing here to remember is that the use of color is a very subjective thing. But although every person will see color in a different way, there are some basic principles to think about when using, when you need to choose the colors of your visualizations. So the one color theory concept is the HSL model, and it stands for hue, saturation, and luminance. And so this is the one that is the most often used. And if you go now, just to, for example, to see these are three visualizations with more or less the same visualization with different colors, and you can see the difference here in how it comes over. And I'm sure if we have a quick test now here, maybe you could, just for interest's sake, say in the chat which one you prefer, say number 1 on the left, 2 in the middle, and 3 on the right hand side. Then we can look afterwards what was the preference here. But it's usually quite a mix because of the subjectiveness of the use of color. So you are very welcome to do that in the chat, and just for interest's sake to see which one you choose. So then, just to go quickly through the steps, what you would do when you decide on colors. First, the first step will be to decide which aspects of your data you would like to represent with color. It's not necessarily everything. And then you have to understand your data scale. The Color Brewer tool is a quite nice, handy tool to use here. I'm not going to click through on this now, but it's a very easy tool to just use and which guides you in choosing your colors. And it looks at sequential, divergent, and qualitative data. You can choose which one you are using, and then it gives you certain options. So the third step will be to decide how many U's you will need. And based on the scale that you choose in the second step, you can then decide further how many U's you will need in the palette. So the third point here, that qualitative data requires as many U's as there are values, is quite important. But also then remember that the limitations of the human brain is also there, So try not to use more than 7 or 8 colors at a time. Otherwise, we can't remember which one represents what. So then step four, will be to look for obvious options. And before you start to get too creative in looking at colors, just see if your data isn't very obvious that which colors you should use. So this is a good example of that. If you look, for example, at weather temperatures, it's very explanatory that blue and red and different shades of that will be used when you look at weather temperatures. And then step 5 is just to create your palette, and with Color Brewer is nice to picking the schemes for sequential data or divergent or qualitative data. And then you can create your palette in whichever tool you are working. This is just a very quick overview of using color. Then a few slides just very quickly as well about visualizing qualitative data. It's a bit different. You will see that when you work with qualitative data, it's not the same thing than working just with numbers and things like that. So there are different ways to visualize your qualitative data. It consists of non-numeric information that doesn't involve the measurements or quantities. That's the reason. So you will usually code your qualitative data. It's often used as the method of marking a certain section of your data with a particular code when it falls into that specific theme or category. And of course, tools like Atlas TI or Deduce can assist with this coding process, and then also with the visualization thereof. You will also do text analysis with qualitative data. It's the analysis of the structure and linguistic features of a collection of text in order to detect measurable patterns in the text. And like coding, text analysis allows us to visualize qualitative information in a quantitative way. This is just to take note of that. And ways to visualize your qualitative data will be with these 3 types mainly. Illustrative diagrams might be used if you want to produce a data visualization, but you don't have any kind of data set to work from, you most likely need to create this type of illustrative diagram, the example here at the top. Or you will work with heat maps, like in the middle here, or word clouds to highlight the specific words that's mostly used or coded, the themes that you have coded with your qualitative data. Right, and then quickly also something about visualizing networks. Now, network analysis also examines relationships between different entities, such as collaborations between researchers or communication between people in a company, etc. So a network visualization is then, of course, the visual with component to network analysis. And there are a wide variety of network visualization types to choose from as well. And you can also click through on these links that I have here afterwards to see a bit more about this. But like I've already mentioned, the node link diagrams, like here on the left-hand side, will be most used for this type of visualization. And then we get to this point of the top 10 do's and don'ts for charts and graphs by Angela Zoss as well. So I'm going to click through on this library guide of hers here from this link and just show you the guide. You will, I'm just now opening this one page, but you can also go and have a look at the other pages that is here, that give helpful tips. But here, just very quick, some do's which you need to do when creating charts and graphs. The first one is to use the full axis. So here, what I mean by this is to avoid distortion. For bar charts, the numerical axis, often the Y one, must start at 0. Otherwise, we will draw inaccurate conclusions when the bars are truncated. So this is just important to take into account. Then also, if you have wide ranges, if you have 1 or 2 very tall bars, like here on the right-hand side top here, you might consider using multiple charts to show both the full scale here at the top and a zoomed in view here at the bottom to give a better overview over these lower aspects of the bars. And then also just to remember to use consistent intervals in your axis, the full axis. Then also do simplify less important information. I think this is quite an important one. We think we need to put everything on the graph or the visualization, but the more simple and easy to read it is, it will have a better effect on people viewing it. So you may be able to eliminate some of the grid lines, or reserve your colors, don't use too many colors, things like that. So this example here with the blue, there's no grid lines, it's only one line and it's not too cluttered. So, and then also do be creative with using your legends and labels. Label your lines individually, like in this one. You will see it's labeled individually like that so that it is clear to read. You can rotate your bars if the category names are too long. You can put value labels on bars as well. This is quite a nice one. I just want to minimize this thingy because I can't see. This one here is where you can put the labels on the bars like that to preserve the clean lines of the bars itself and not have a cluttered look. And then number 4 here, do pass the squint test. Make sure it's readable and that you can draw conclusions of what is available on the screen otherwise, or under your visualization, otherwise people might have problems reading it. And do ask others for opinions. We always think, oh, we like it like this, but maybe someone else will prefer something totally different. So it's good to get other input into your visualizations as well. Then just a few don'ts. Don't use 3-dimensional or blow apart effects. I know a lot of people like to use this. I've done it a lot in the past as well, but now I see it's not really the thing to do. Blow apart effects like this here with the pie chart, it will make it hard to compare the different elements and the areas with each other. The same here with this 3-dimensional bar chart. And then again about colors, I think we've seen this now already, that it's not good to use more than about 6 colors because it's just easier to see the differences between the different things if it's not too many colors. So no rainbows, as she says here, using all the colors of the rainbow. When you use quite a few colors, it's also good to have it more with like this sequential colors here, is the blues and the greens and reds, etc. All right. Oh, and then something about color blindness. There's a tool, VisCheck, that you can use to test your images. I think Color Brewer that I've mentioned before also look at this. They also have a place on the tool where you can test if it's fine for colorblind people. Then here, number 3, don't change your style midstream. So if you have to compare a lot of graphs with each other, don't now suddenly in the midway change your style and colors and things. Keep rather to the same type of styles and colors and things like that. And number 4 here, don't make users do the visual math themselves. So if the chart itself makes it hard to understand an important relationship between variables, do the extra calculation as well and visualize it separately so that it's very clear, because people don't always want to do that themselves. And here again, don't overload the chart. I think the chart or graph, it's very important. Like these are maybe a bit this is maybe just an example. I don't think anyone would create a busy chart as this, but yeah, it's not the way to go to overload your charts. Even this pie chart, you need to simplify it to get a better view. All right, so let's go back to the slides. I think you can also explore that page in your own time further. We're now going to go over to Tableau Public. We have, I think I'm going to try to spend 20 minutes on that, and then we can look at questions. So Tableau Public is an interactive data visualization tool. It's free. It helps novices to make professional visualizations. The drag and drop features you have in it is very easy to use, it's very user-friendly, and they have very rich training sources available which anyone can use and learn from. You are able to access your data wherever it's stored. You can connect Google Sheets to Tableau Public, and then this is quite a good way to use it, maybe because then as soon as you update your Google Sheet with data, then it will change, it will auto refresh the visualization itself, and that's quite a nice way to go, but I haven't tested that with myself. I usually just upload this Excel spreadsheet, which I will show you just now. It doesn't require any technical or programming skills to operate. And by the word public, it means that the workbooks that you create cannot be saved locally. It's not on your desktop itself that you save it. It's saved to the Tableau's public cloud, and which can also be viewed and accessed by others, but there are privacy settings that you can import or change so that not all is in the public view. Then, and you can also, there's also a privacy setting that allow, or that you can set that don't allow people to download or share your files. So it's very important to just do that if you don't want others to download it. So this version of Tableau is the best to use for those who want to learn Tableau, and then we also would like to share it with the general public or on websites, because you can grab the embed code and display it on a website or something like that. But yeah, it's not, there's, I think it's about 10 gigabyte free storage as well, so you won't be able to use it forever. And but the full version of Tableau, that's not the free one, is quite pricey to subscribe to. So but you can do quite a lot with this already, so that's why I'm quite a fan. It is useful when you would like to create interactive maps and charts and visualizations from raw data. Your data set is available in Excel or Google Sheets, then it's a very good place to go. And you will need a reliable internet connection because it's saved to the cloud, and you will need to share it in that way. And also, it will not be useful if you don't have a reliable internet connection, and your target audience will also need a reliable connection. And it's also not good to use it when you work with sensitive or confidential data because it's openly available. Right, but let's it's the end of the slideshow now. So this is just some references and also useful links, other useful links that you can also have a look at afterwards. But I'm going to go now to Tableau Public, of the desktop version that I've already downloaded first. And yeah, so what we will do now is I'm going to just give you a broad overview of this, and then we go to the Tableau Public on the cloud where you save it to as well to show you how it looks when after it's been saved. So here, to orientate you, here on the left-hand side is this is now the desktop, so you will download it first from the Tableau Public website. And I've already opened the desktop here. On the left-hand side, you will connect to your Excel file or any, there's a lot of type of files that you can connect to. On the right-hand side, these links will take you to the website as well. The how-to videos, chart types and more how-to videos, the viz of the day. And also here, just want to alert you on this sample data sets. So you can here use some of the data sets to play around with, to getting to know the tool. And this is what I have done. So the one that I will upload is also a sample data set from Tableau Public. So I'm just going to upload this from Excel. And it is about significant volcano eruptions. And so I'm just going to open that. So then it takes you to this page where you connect your data. So this sheet, you will see here are two sheets here on the left-hand side. It's this one that we need for the data itself. VORUP is just a short name for volcanic eruptions. And there it loads then all the data that we need, that's in this sheet. You can also add other data sheets here. I'm not going to do it at this stage. I have done this before when helping someone, that you add another data sets and then you can connect them here with each other, and then you can combine those data sets with interesting visualizations. So that's just something to take note of, but I'm not going to do it at this point of time. So now your data is loaded. Now you go here on the bottom, at the bottom, you will see the different things that you can do. First is to create this worksheets. There's another block for creating a new worksheet, and then a new dashboard and a new story. So I will quickly give you an overview of those. So now I'm going to go to worksheet. You will see here at the top, you can do most of these things as well. I'm just doing it here with a quick way at the bottom, but you can also go to worksheet, new worksheet, dashboard, new dashboard, etc. And have a lot of other options here at the top. Okay, so now to start, you will see this, all the data that has been uploaded in the previous, in the data source page are now here available on the left-hand side. So what I'm now going to do, I want to create a map. So you will see there's a little earth thingy there that shows that you are working with longitudes and latitudes already included there. So you will be able to create this map. So I'm just dragging and dropping it into the box here in the middle where you work. And then it creates this map for you. So it shows you immediately where the volcanic eruptions took place over years. And now you can do a lot of other things with the data here on the left-hand side. I'm going to now just add the number of deaths that took place. And I'm going to do it with a label. You will see here on this, in this bar, there are options of colors and size, labels, detail, tooltips. So what I'm going to do is to drag and drop the number of deaths to label. And then you will see it gives you the number next to the actual dot where this took place. You can also drag and drop it to detail. You won't see a change on the map itself, but then when you hover on it, you will see that detail is included, the country and the number of deaths now. All right, so and then you can also do color. You can work with color and change. I'm going to drag the country now over to color as well. And then you will see all the countries have different colors now. We've just talked about I'm not using too many colors, but now I'm doing it. But in any case, I'm just continuing with it as it is at the moment. So now I'm fairly happy with what I have here. And now I'm going to let me see, just change the sheet name. You can do this there at the bottom, rename and say map. That's the only thing I'm going to change it to. Then you can start and draw a new sheet and make a new sheet, a new visualization. So I'm going to click new worksheet, and you still have the same data here on the left-hand side. I'm just going to do something else with it. And again, just going to draw country over and something about the let's say houses destroyed this time, and add this to the middle. So then it will, what it does then is then it changes the size of the dots to those that were top is the biggest size, and the others gets very small where there were no houses destroyed. But here you will see now on the right hand side, I just want to show you what happens, is that there's a show me button on Tableau. It will always come up. If you don't want to see it, you just click there and then you will see the legend. But if you want to have all the options available, it gives you all the other visualizations that's doable with this data that you have chosen here in the middle now. So here you will see there's also an option for a bubble map now. And I'm just going to choose that to do something different. It's now not a lot of data included here because it's just the houses destroyed and it's not so many here. But I just for a demo sake, it's going to do it now like this. And then you can also work with colors and draw. I'm going to draw the country over to color again, and then you will see it change the colors. I can also, I'm going to draw the year to the label. Yes. Oh, now it changed totally because there's now more information on the label inside every bubble. You will see which year this took place, as well as the countries. Here you will see now different Japans and different Indonesias because it happened in different years. In any case, this is just how you will now start to work with doing the more information on these specific bubbles. All right, but let's just go on. I don't want to keep you too long with this demo. I just want to really give you an idea of what's all the options that you can do. Then you can do a dashboard or a story, and I just quickly want to show you that as well after I've saved this sheet or just renamed it. It's already saved. You never have to click save or something. It saves automatically. I'm just going to call this one bubbles. And then I'm going to create a dashboard with these two that we already created. So what happens here, you will see the dashboard sits here. This is the size. You can change the size here on the left-hand side. You can also go to phone layout. That will be better on your phone, but I'm going to keep that as it is. But you can make this a bit bigger. Just going to keep it automatic. Yeah. So now I have a much bigger dashboard here in the middle than it was before. So now I'm going to drag these two sheets over. You will see it brings in the whole thing. And if I now drag over the second sheet, you can either do it at the top like this, then it looks like, but this doesn't look so good. So I'm going to go use the backward thing and rather add it like this next to each other. Then it's a bit more, it looks better. So this will be now your dashboard, one view of the two sheets next to each other, but it's also interactive. You can hover and see the other information that you have. You can change the titles here at the top also and change the colors of that and the look and feel, make it bold, there like that. Just want to close that, and here as well. Edit title, make it bold, make it blue, for example, and there you go. So this is the type of things, there's lots of other things as well that you can do with it, but I'm just going to keep doing this now because I want to just quickly show you how to create a story as well. And as this one is called a dashboard because it's a one-page view, but the story, you can make different pages, and this gets interesting. I will show an example also afterwards that I've done with this. And this is now your first page, and I'm going to say this is introduction. And in this introduction, for example, you can just have text, some text maybe, and text and you can change the colors of the background and of the text and everything. I'm just going to keep it as it is now. It can be a block, or you can customize this exactly as you want it, drag and drop it where you want it, etc. and put in a full page of text here if you want to. This is just, you can add these text boxes on any page that you're working with. This is just an example. So now I want to add a new story point here on the left-hand side and say blank, and then you will see a new page appear. And here I'm just going to say this is going to be the map. And then I draw this, the map over here that we've already created. And it has the legend here on the left-hand side. But if you don't want to have this, you can go back to the sheet where you created this. And just over here, where the legend is, you can just format legend. Sorry. You hide it. That will be the best way. I just want to see if that, then it's also hidden here when you, after you've drawn it into the story. And then you can add another page for the bubbles, the bubble map. And I'm just going to drag and drop the bubbles over here as well. And oh, now you will see it also has this legend, but I'm going to keep it for now, because this doesn't look too cluttered. All right, so this is how you will create a story in Tableau. It will have these different pages that you can click on at the top, and you can create a nice, it's also like a dashboard type of thing with your data. But now what happens now, all of this can now be, oh, I just want to quickly mention that you can also create a dashboard page here. So I just want to, for completeness sake, just show you that you can also drag and drop your dashboard over here and have a full two different visualizations on one page. Okay, now we want to save this, and this is now where, when you click on File and Save, you see there's no option for save, just save as or whatever. It saves only to Tableau Public itself. And that's what I've mentioned before. It doesn't save on your desktop or something like that. You will need to save it to Tableau Public. Let me just say, and this is now for every, I'm going to save the story. And then it will ask you to sign in. Your first step, of course, will be to create your account when you download the desktop version of Tableau. Guys, I'm going to just take a little bit of time. And it asks you to save it under a name, and then it saves to the website, and it will then open the website as soon as it's saved.
Marie, I just quickly want to jump in. Hi, it's Karina. So we said we would start doing Q&A at 1. But I think it's so valuable what you're doing now. So please don't rush, because I think we'd all like to see you finish up here. Okay. So just take your time.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Karina. We nearly finished. This is now the last step, just to show you how it will look on the web page. Thank you for that. So now you will see that story that I've saved is now exactly like this in the desktop. You can click on the different pages and browse through it as we have done that specific story. And you can, when you're inside it, you can hover, it's interactive, you can see all the data that you need to see. And let me just quickly, just to mention, on Tableau Public, I only saved the story now. That was the outcome of the whole thing that we've done. But if you want to save all the different sheets also separately, you can do that. It just depends what you need to do. You can save only the dashboard as well. But each of them, if you want it separately on your page in Tableau, you will need to save them all different separately. I just wanted to mention that. But all the underlying sheets is already saved. It will be here. They usually mention all the sheets underlying, but now I see it's not here anymore. In any case, these things change every time you look at it. But now you can share it. I just want to show you this last bit. You can share. And here you will see there's the embed code that you can grab and copy and paste to a website, or just a link that you will share, and you can do it via Facebook and Twitter as well. And you can download. So if you want to use this now. That's maybe more in with regard to only the one sheet at a time. You can click on download. You can download the image. A PDF, PowerPoint actually gives quite a nice big image for you, or Tableau workbook, etc. You can download those all. So just, it's not that it's only on the web. From here, you can then save it as well and download the image or PDF as a PDF or as a PowerPoint even. So I'm not going to do that now, but I just wanted to alert you on that. So I'm just going to click quickly on my profile as well to just show the others things. There's in total 20, but here you will see this is the one that I've done recently. My setting is so settings are set up that nothing is visible from a certain time. Here you will see the viz is hidden from your Tableau public profile. So if people go to my profile now, they won't see these that are hidden. Only like this one was another example dashboard that I've just created for our own purposes here at the library to decide what we want to do with stats. And here we'll see a similar thing that I've just shown you with the tabs at the top with all the different pages. Right, but now also just something that became creative is this one here. You can now also create visualizations in the web application. So I just want to show you quickly that. I'm not going to talk much longer. So here you will see it's basically the same layout. You will first upload the form from your computer. You will see it's basically the same layout that we had in the desktop. You can work on the web itself as well. So yes, that is Tableau Public in a very short nutshell for you. Right, so we can go over to questions now. I hope you don't have difficult ones.
Thanks, Marié. Especially this last section, it's really kept me on my toes trying to make sure I collate all the answers and the questions. So firstly, when you asked for the 3 options of the charts, I quickly collated what the answers were, and it's a very, very even spread. So 13 people preferred number 1, 11 people preferred number 2, and 13 people preferred option 3. So
yes,
it just shows you really can do anything. It's fine. Okay, yep. So, and then we had a lot of comments about how useful this Tableau software is going to be. Emma said it's so useful, my boring presentations will never be the same again. Can't wait to start playing and exploring. Charlie said, Emma, you've just read my mind. He's already looking for the download and he will start playing immediately with the tool.
Great.
Denisani says he can't wait to get started. He's like a kid in a candy shop. And Malzette says, me too, great tool, one-stop shop combining GIS, Illustrator and Excel. So I think definitely from everyone in attendance, they've definitely wanted to, I think they can't wait to start exploring. So Charlie asked, is Tableau a free visualization software? So can you just please explain again, what is the difference between the freeware and then the paid for version?
Yeah, the Tableau Public is totally free, but it has that limitations of 10 gigabyte storage, where you've seen there on the web page. Maybe I should just share that again. Sorry, I've just unshared. Just quickly going back there. If I go to my profile, you will see that's not all my. Oh, you see, they have changed so much. They don't tell me anymore exactly how many gigabyte I've left, but I should find it somewhere. But yeah, it is 10 gigabyte in total. And these that I've done, you can go quite far with that, because all of these are not yet even 1 gig. So I just want to tell you that. But then the pricing models for Tableau, the more full Tableau package it's quite expensive. So it's unfortunately, but you can do everything with the desktop here. You can do everything that you can do also with the full Tableau desktop. It's the two desktops are not really, there's no big differences. It's got all the functionalities. It's just where you share it, where you can't just download your visualization on your desktop itself. You have to share it first on Tableau Public and then download it from there, the images, etc. if you need it.
Yeah, they're basically just making it an irritation for you so that you buy the package.
That's what these free packages usually do. Yes, that's exactly what happens.
I don't think it's insurmountable.
Yeah, I don't have the pricing now here with me, but it's we even looked at it, I think we have looked at it at the library, and it's just not doable to have the full package for us even. So for an individual there might be, for researchers, discount. I can't remember now, but it's it is quite expensive. Sorry about that.
That's fine. And then you addressed some of the questions as we were continuing, but there were quite a few people wanting to know, how do you download? So there is, for those colleagues that asked, you can export it. When you export it as a PowerPoint, does it export as a slide or does it export as a picture? How does it work? And then I want to add a question to that. Charlie Kalinzi also asked, during a presentation, how do you make the bubbles jump? Like when it's like an interactive visualization. Is that possible, or is it static once you've exported it to PowerPoint?
Yeah, that is unfortunately, if you export it to PowerPoint, it will be static because it's like an image, but it's a nice big image in a PowerPoint slide. Yes, I could show you quickly. But I think if you want to do the interactive part, you can use it via within either a web page where you embed it with the embed code, or use it from Tableau itself. Because then the interactiveness will be visible. Yeah, but unfortunately only if you embed it in a web page, for example. Yeah.
And do you, sorry, one last one while we're on it. Do you know if it's compatible with Prezi? Prezi is the presentation software.
Yeah, I know about Prezi. I haven't used it like that before, but I'm sure there should be compatibilities. I'm also not sure about the interactiveness, if the interactive part will be. I haven't tested that before. Sorry, I will be able to find out for you and let you know.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Good. So please, I interrupted you when you were going to do the presentation. I'll read the next questions to you afterwards.
No, that's fine. I just thought I can download. Maybe I'm rather going to download a sheet, maybe like this one. Just open this, and then just to show you how the PowerPoint looks. And this was good. Let's quickly do it there. Should open soon. Yeah, see, so it creates this first page, which you won't need, but it's then it's just like an image in your PowerPoint, but already imported. You don't have to download it first as an image and then insert it into your PowerPoint. It's just immediately there.
So it's a static image.
It's static, yes. It won't be, it can't be in PowerPoint, it won't be able to.
But it fits nicely, it's in the right format. Okay, that's very wonderful.
Yeah, so, like I said, you will need to go back to the web or embed it into another website if you want it to be interactive.
Okay. So, Marié, the questions keep on coming, but first, Alberica wants to know, are you able to insert a map without any data and then you insert the data yourself? And for example, can you insert a map of South Africa? And he asks, would it work with provinces in South Africa? Is the detail that fine, or is it only at country level?
Yeah. Now you can insert anything if you have the longitude and latitude information in your data. You can do anything with it. I have helped someone at engineering once that she wanted to combine, she had a map of South Africa and she wanted to combine other data and of certain cities. And we could do an overlap of that, but you have to then work with overlays and overlaps and things that gets a bit more tricky. So there's lots that you can do, which I haven't had time to demonstrate now, but yeah, it is possible to have your own coordinates and draw a map from that. Yeah.
I see that there's a lot of resources on the Tableau site where if you would like to do your own tutorials, it's very possible. So Alberica and Annie, you can go and look at the tutorials, you know, the resources are available. Then Deborah asked, you've answered this, how to make your visualizations private, but now she's thinking in terms of reports or papers that she might want to publish. Does Tableau own the visualizations or how does that work?
Yeah, I don't think so. It should be still yours. They have these, let me just say, if you go just to the Tableau Public page itself, they have this gallery where they showcase other people's visualizations. But if you do these vis over days and things like that featured, but if you set your visualizations private and not for public view, they can't do this because it's not viewable for the public. Yeah, but I might need to find out more about that as well to know where the ownership lies.
So
of course it's public.
Yeah. Deborah, you're welcome to email us at ADA School and to state your question if you would like Marié to follow up for you, and we can facilitate the discussion.
I can do that.
So thank you very much. So 2 questions that sort of link together. So Henry Ukwu asked, can it be used to make tables? And then Precious Moya would like to know, since most of the examples are quantitative data, for qualitative data, does it work like Atlas TI where you do the analysis on the worksheets first? And actually a second question is, can Atlas TI data, sorry, let me just scroll down. I don't know if you're an Atlas specialist, but where's that other question? Okay, so first those 2 questions. So tables and worksheets.
You can, I do think you can really do anything. I'm just going to open up another sheet here, and I'm just going to go back and where we had those show me options. Here you will see, oh, it's not active now, but there's a normal table also, but for this data that I choose, that wasn't possible. So it is, yeah, you can basically, there's a bar chart, but here at the top, it's now not visible, but there's just a normal table there right at the top as well. Like here as well, yeah. So it is, I think it should be possible. But yeah, I think tables might be that you will do certain things with Tableau Public, but other things again still with Excel and so forth. So you can just keep that in mind as well.
Thanks, Marié. So Dewald Oosthuizen would like to know, are raw data also stored online by Tableau? And how does this align with university data practices?
Oh, yeah. Now, that is quite a tricky one here. These days we need to be very careful about how we, which tools we use for the privacy problems we have. I do think Tableau Public will not be, it's actually, we need to start thinking about using this so for these presentations, because I don't think our university will really allow you to work with sensitive data when you use. And I have advised on that already, that you won't use Tableau Public when you work with sensitive data. But there is, when your data is not sensitive, if it's that low risk and things like that, then it's usually not a problem with what you use.
And then if you have the paid for version, you probably have full control over your data.
Yeah. It can also save to a web, but you don't have to. It will be more secure, definitely.
So the questions keep on scrolling.
I just want to mention something on that topic of security. At Stellenbosch University, for example, I think they would prefer us to use something like Microsoft Power BI, because it can do also a lot. Not as easy as Tableau, but it can. And it will be the safer way to go when you work with sensitive data as well.
Yeah. So LZ actually found us the T's and C's for ownership. And it seems that Tableau and its licenses will have and will retain all rights, titles, and interests. Patent, copyright, in the public software.
Yes.
So I guess sensitive information
will not be.
No.
But there are researchers that would like these days, it's important to share your data. In any case, your raw data as well. Those that doesn't work with sensitive data. So and you want to showcase your work and you want to do things like that. So you just need to be careful with what you share then.
I think that's a fair comment. Then Kurt Marié also said there's a website for interactive presentations. I don't know if you know about this one, Marie, called Mentimeter.
Yes, I've heard about it, but haven't used it before.
It's also a great tool to use in class if you want to do polls or if you want to measure opinions. You could even use it for if people prefer option 1, 2, and 3, for example, in your presentation. And it's called mentimeter.com, and Kurt posted the thing.
Yeah. No, thank you for that. I've heard about that, yes.
So Charlie asks a complicated question. He asks, if it's tried out on countries, are the sub-geographical boundaries inbuilt already, like provinces in South Africa?
Yes.
And is this for all countries? Like I'm guessing, for example, I know Charlie's in Uganda, so we might know about South Africa, but do you know about other countries?
No, definitely. As the person it's now difficult to find. I don't want to go into my emails now currently, but the person I've helped with that map that she had to draw the overlays and things. Your provinces are clearly indicated as well throughout the world if you have the correct longitudes and latitudes, all of that is together. I think we can actually if we zoom in on this, I don't think this will show. It will also show.
So we can see Namibia, Botswana, all of them.
Northern Cape here, as far as you zoom in, there's the Western Cape. It's all there.
Lovely.
But you have to have the longitude. You have to have that information already drawn in.
So you also have to help you. Okay, so Sechametsi says, thank you very much, Marie, for an invaluable presentation, much appreciated. Then Hindunald says, when your data is not sensitive, but you're a PhD student, so your PhD data belongs to the university, how do I work around this? Oh, it's been answered. I scroll down. Thank you. Okay, so I hope I've covered all the questions. If you would like to put your hand up and ask a question, or if you would like to pop anything in the chat still, we've got about 9-10 minutes to answer the questions. Please let us know. Just to confirm, if you were on the meeting request, we will share the link to the YouTube channel, and we will be sure to attach the presentation with all the valuable links that Marie showed. So Bilkis Ahmad says, is there a rule on how to order non-numerical data along the x-axis of a bar graph? For example, x-axis categories of people or places, y-axis frequency of each category. It's in the chat if you want to just read it
Yeah,
again.
I see that now. That's quite a difficult one because you're now working with non-numerical data. Yeah, I think we'll need to discuss this one privately, and I will have to find out for you exactly. I can't just at the top of my head now. I haven't worked so much with like qualitative data in this way. So can we maybe, he can also put this question to you by email maybe, and we can sort it out like that.
So,
or maybe someone else has an answer that has this on the top.
I'm not so sure. I'm also more of a qualitative person. So Precious Moyo says, I did hear the response on a question on Atlas TI, but I think Marié only responded to the one on the table. So Precious asked about importing worksheets from Atlas, if that's possible.
From Atlas to Tableau. I think you will need to vet. I think in Atlas you can also save Excel to Excel, isn't it?
Okay.
You will have to save it first to Excel, and then it won't be, I don't think it will allow Atlas TI files as such. You will need to export it to Excel first. Yeah. Okay,
so a common file that both programs can use. So sort of, very good. So Bulky says, thank you. They were just wondering if it should be ordered alphabetically or according to most frequent to least frequent or something else. So if you had to have the frequencies and the x-axis?
It depends what you want to do with your graph. So I think that it will differ from what you would like to, how you would like to view it.
Yeah, no, I think that's a fair comment, because I've seen so many, sometimes you want to show the increase or the decrease, or you want to show the outliers. So good. So
we'll have to work with the data and see the data before I can also ask a question. I will answer a question like that.
Excellent. So Marié, I think people have just been appreciating your time and your input. We keep on getting also requests. We definitely will send you the slides. Precious says thank you. Karen says thank you. Charlie says it's a big program. It's taking ages to download.
It's taking ages to download. I just want to say, but if you have it, then it works well. But the edit labels, that question, you can edit any label in Tableau itself. There is a way to do that.
Absolutely. So, and then Brian Mandigora asks, are you able to edit labels, etc. in the graphs?
That's the one I just answered now that I read it there just now. You are able to, I can edit any label. No.
And then Benayan Yakuri, he says, thank you for this wonderful and informative presentation. Much appreciation to Marié and the ADA team. And I think that's a wonderful place for us to close. Marié, I thank you so much for it's, as you can see, I think a lot of people identified and already started seeing the possibilities where they can work in their own research data. And I hope they will go on to share this with their colleagues and their students. And I just, we take note of everybody's email addresses in the chat, and we will definitely double check that you are on our distribution list. And thank you also to our delegates for your questions and for the interacting. And then again, if you want to get hold of us, you're very, very welcome to email us, and we will make sure to pass on specific questions to Marié. Good. Good. So on that note, thank you, colleagues. I hope you have a good lunch, what's left of your lunch hour, and productive visualizations. Thank you, Marié.
Thank you.